Hi there, I'm Natalia Paiva-Neves, and today I'm going to show you how to make a wonderful, pretty simple codfish dish. So this is dried salted cod. When you buy dried salted cod, you do have to have it sit in water for about 2-3 days in cold water that you have to change out probably like every couple of hours. You should leave it in the fridge. And the reason why you should leave it in the fridge is because when it has the salt in it, it's cured. So as it's sitting in the water, you're taking out the curing process. So it's got to sit in the water because of temperature control, and you don't want to introduce other bacteria in there. So here's my dried salted cod. If you have everything set up, this is going to be really simple to do. I like to use the Yukon Gold potatoes. I probably used about 6 of them, and you slice them a little bit thick because you don't want it to fall apart in your codfish, seeing as to how this is going to cook for about 40 minutes. I have these great yellow onions. This is 3 onions. You need a lot of onions and you need a lot of garlic. This is probably 2 heads of garlic, just sliced. If you want to crush it, you can crush it too. I'm very fortunate to have bay leaves from my mother's garden, and these are, some of these are huge, but you definitely need bay leaves. We're going to use the olives for afterwards, and this is the wonderful salted or salt cured red pepper, which is slightly hot. It's not even that hot. All right, so the process is we're gonna need lots of olive oil. We're gonna need wine. You're gonna start out by dousing the bottom of your pan with olive oil. I'd say probably about 1/8 of a cup, just at the bottom. Now, just because this is dried salted cod doesn't mean that you're not going to have to season it, but just a little bit. So you're gonna start with half of your onions on the bottom, and that's just going to kind of start your layering process. So half go down, and then you're going to add your sliced Yukon potatoes. I just throw them all in, and then I arrange them like so. You're also going to throw in some of this garlic. Just seems like a whole lot of garlic, but believe me, the majority of the flavor comes from the onions and the garlic, so you're going to need all this. Put that all in there. And you all know that garlic and onions together creates beautiful flavor. So now we are going to have to use a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. I'd say probably just about a teaspoon of the salt and probably about a good heaping teaspoon of the pepper, black pepper. Then we're going to take our codfish and we're going to layer it on top after we drizzle this with a little bit more olive oil. I'm using really good Portuguese olive oil. You do need something that is of good quality. Make sure you use olive oil. It does make a huge difference. So we're going to layer this with a little bit more olive oil. And we're going to lay our codfish right over it. I'm going to show you something I'm going to do with the codfish in a minute. So these are 3 pieces, which we're a family of 4, and usually 4 is too much. So we're doing 3 because cut them in half and we have more than enough. You're going to tuck some of these bay leaves in. I'm going to use 4. I do like the flavor that it imparts, and it's pretty necessary here. We're going to add the rest of the onions. And we're going to do... This is probably about 1.5 glasses of white wine. Let's just see if it's good. That's fabulous. And you're going to throw this over. And then we're going to add a little bit more olive oil all over the cod. I know this seems like it's a lot of olive oil, but the majority of the flavor that's going on here is onions, garlic, olive oil. The wine, obviously, that went in right now, you are definitely going to need all that. And then we're going to just top it with a little bit more salt and pepper. Then you're going to put it in the oven for about, I'd say, 30 minutes. And then we're going to do a little something interesting afterwards. So this is your dish. This is how it should go in the oven. You should put some aluminum foil on it and then pop it in the oven. Before this goes into the oven, I want to show you something else that I'm going to do to go along with it. This is a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper, and this is 2 cloves of garlic, which we're going to add to a baking dish, all of it together. just like that. You're gonna put olive oil all over it. I said we're gonna use a lot of olive oil, so here we go. And it's good olive oil. And you're gonna put just a little bit of salt and pepper on here. Those are gonna roast with the codfish at the same time. And you're gonna see what we're gonna do with that afterwards to top the codfish off. All right. Everything is going in. And we're gonna add this. All right, y'all, I'll see you back here in a half an hour. It will take longer than a half an hour, but we're gonna do it for a half an hour, and then we're gonna add another 15 minutes to it. See you back here. All right, y'all, so after 30 minutes of this baking, you're gonna take it out. Remember I said we were gonna finish it off in a particular way. Ooh, that is hot. See how there's still some nice juice in there from the wine and the olive oil? But then here's the kicker. This is what we're gonna do. The peppers that were in there, I've removed from the oven already. And you have to peel. See how nice and toasty it is? It got this great coloring on it. You're gonna remove some of that skin, and we're going to cut it, and we're gonna put it back in this olive oil. We're not gonna waste any of the liquid from the cooking process. Just gonna cut that up. And also, remember the garlic that we had in there, the whole garlic? You're just gonna press it out. This is baked garlic, which is so amazing, and it's gonna taste great in this olive oil. I'm gonna take that out. And then we're going to take the skin off of the pepper, the green and red pepper. This took probably less than half an hour. This was probably in there for like, I'd say 20 minutes before it started getting great color on it. You just want to take some of the skin off of it. You don't want to take all the skin off of it because it does have a lovely charred flavor on it. And then the seeds in the center have to go. And then we're going to cut it into strips, and we're going to add it to this olive oil. So cut them. Ooh, that's hot. Cut them into these lovely strips. Add the whole thing back into the olive oil and the garlic that it was cooked in. Grab a little spatula here. Throw this all in. Stir that together. So you've just created an entirely different sauce that we're going to pour over this codfish. Isn't that pretty? I wish you could smell this. The smell is pretty intense. Very garlicky, very oniony. So that goes in. We're going to have to add a bit more olive oil to it. So just drizzle it on top of each piece of cod. And this is going to go back into the oven at 500. So you cooked it initially at 400 for the first half hour. Now for the last 15 minutes after you've added all the peppers, we're going to add these peppers as well, which are the salted cured peppers. So you're going to bump the oven up to 500 degrees, no aluminum foil, and we're going to leave it in there at 500 degrees. And then see it back here when it comes out of the oven in 15 minutes. All right. So after 15 minutes of everything marrying together with all those wonderful roasted peppers, whew, that's hot. Take it out. I know this is not kosher, but I have got to have at least one little bite of the codfish with the potatoes. I want you to see how flaky and light that is. But you do have to have the potatoes with the peppers, green, red, I don't care, I love them both. And you're going to get some of that sauce in there. That is hot. Listen. It doesn't matter if you're Portuguese, if you're Italian, if you're Spanish, if you're French. Everyone has salted cod as part of their culture. This just took me back to sitting outside by the ocean after a long day at the beach. And all the little restaurants along the ocean have like these great meals with lots of garlic and onions. You can smell it as you're walking around. So this just totally took me back to summertime in Portugal, hanging out with my family and enjoying every minute of it. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. If you want to see more of me, which who wouldn't, then check out my social media. Links are in the description.